Welcome back to Wigscape with Amy Gibson. Do you know, I get a lot of calls from women. It's amazing because I believe there is a lot of information on YouTube and the internet and stuff, but in terms of how to sew wig clip or really how to wear them, but yet a lot of women still don't know, so I thought I'd cover it today. A few things you need. I like a small scissor, even smaller than this if you have it, but with a nice point, not round. The type of thread that I love using with any type of clips are transparent. It's called invisible thread. It's a 100% nylon thread. It's really strong, and that's for darker wigs. And then they have the clear one if I'm using like platinum or blonde or any of the lighter colors I have to sew into. Sometimes if it's a darker blonde, I'll use this polyester thread. It is a little thicker, so if you're using a wig cap or putting this into a wig cap, you got to be really careful when you're sewing it that you don't show this thread on the other side of the cap so it doesn't show through your wig. Okay, so there's a few different types of wig clips that we're going to go over. This is metal. These are the larger ones, okay? And they come also like this, a little bit larger, and they have a little bit of silicone here to help hold the hair in place. Then there's the next size down, which is this one. There's the medium, which is this one. And there's the baby, which is this one. This one is usually used in the front because it doesn't take up a lot of bulk. The one thing I'm going to say to you about wig clips is it's really important to put on many all the way around because I don't want you putting the same stress on the same follicle. I always have my clients maybe use these two in the front for a couple of months, then we switch and maybe only use one here. Sometimes I'll put four and we'll just switch off. I believe that with toppers and with wigs, it is essential for hair health not to use the same clip all the time. Now there's another clip on the market that I really like. It's called Finger Flex. The only difference is these are between $1 and $2, sometimes less. All of these. This is $10. Now, you can't tell me this is like more than 50 cents to make, but I gotta tell you, I've looked all over the world to try to find this. And the workmanship is definitely worth the money. First of all, they stay in, but they're plastic, so they don't rip the hair, which metal clips, if it gets tangled, you gotta be really careful with these clips. That means if it's tangled, take your rat tail comb or your finger and slowly move your hair away from it. They are made with grooves, okay? To make it easier to remove from the hair. One thing you don't wanna do is just lift it up like this. You wanna slowly undo each clip, make sure the hair underneath is moved aside, and then take your wig cap off, okay? Very important. Now, I did try to find another plastic clip. As I mentioned, I only found one, it was from Korea. I don't suggest you get this, because it doesn't really stay closed. It really doesn't, it's too flimsy, okay? Now, another way clips arrive are on a strip with something called polyurethane in the back, which actually, the finger clip has also. It's a little more transparent though. As you can see, this is a little thicker polyurethane. So you can actually glue this or tape it, put tape on the back, and you can literally just tape it down instead of sewing it down. A lot of times, I'll literally cut the polyurethane off all the way around, and then I'll sew this in, only because it's such a good clip. Now, the one thing you have to keep in mind is the invisible thread is fabulous because it's just invisible, but it also doesn't hold as well as the other threads. So a lot of times I have to actually do the sewing more than once and double knot it and then sew it again and double knot it because that way it will hold better. So we're gonna first, I always pre-thread my needles so I'm not wasting time having to rethread them constantly. It's gonna take you probably 15, 20 minutes to sew all of them on. I'm gonna start with the side first. Now, the other thing you have to be careful not to do is not put too much of a long thread. This is as long as you should go because it gets tangled otherwise. And if the hair gets involved, just kind of move the hair aside. You'll see the hair will sometimes catch in. So you're going to do this all over. The main thing, again, is you want the grooves going in the same direction, going down from the top. So most wigs have a curved edge. That will give you an idea. That's the top. Okay? So Being that this has a lace front, you don't put the clip up here. You put it right where the edge is right there, like where I'm doing it, okay? So sometimes where you'll see this has a polyurethane strip, and that's to keep the structure of the wig. A lot of times they're thicker all the way around, even all the way to the ends, or if they have silicone that's in, it could be a little tougher to sew, but you know, just take your time. But the main thing is to make sure your needle is strong enough, and you want to make sure that the needle you get fits in the hole of the clip, right? Because they all have holes. So make sure your needle, before you get started, make sure your needle is correct and fits in. The worst thing is to get started and go, oh my God, the needle gets stuck. And that has happened to me so many times when I'm in a hurry for a client and I don't test the needle. I'm like, oh no, I got to start all over. In the front, I'm actually using the small medium, not the baby. The baby's in the front, and then I did like a small medium on the side here, which I'll show you. And that way, as I said, you can move it around a little bit, not use the same one. It's really important. You know, people often complain about the fact that they get bald spots from the wig clips, which is why I created Wig Secure Band, so that prevents the bald spots and you don't have to worry about your wig falling off. But for some people that they don't really want to wear a band, they just want to wear the clips. And just remember, your wigs are as fragile as the hair follicle, yeah? So, in fact, those of us who have hair loss tend to have a little weaker follicle than those that don't. So we don't want to aggravate it any more than we have to. So for the back, as I told you before, I like to use the larger ones because it holds more. Unless you don't have a lot of hair in the back, then you want to, of course, use the clip that coincides with the hair loss. If you have no hair in the back, there are several people who have hair on top and the back from here down is kind of bald, and you can use some wig tape on the back, which we're going to go over in another video. Let's see, I put 3 in the front, 2 on the sides. You see I'm double knotting after every couple of stitches because I wanted to keep it nice and taut so this knot stays in. It's kind of the secret with transparent thread, as I've mentioned. You see that I put 3 in the front, right? 1 on the sides, 2 in the back. Some people like 3, but for this nape, these are pretty large clips, so I wanted to show you. And if you find that hair has come in, you can just sort of take your finger and just push it right back out. So there's your wig clips. And it's really very important because it doesn't mean you always have to use them. For example, most wigs also have a little clip or an elastic that you can pull to also make it tight around your head. If you're gonna go on a roller coaster, if you're gonna go on a convertible ride, if you're gonna go on a boat ride, make sure you secure your wig. You wanna be absolutely comfortable and empowered in this thing that you've embraced as an extension of yourself. So be able to rock it and be comfortable, and to do that you have to have the right tools, and wig clips is a great tool. If I've missed something, if you want to know about anything else, you can certainly write me at hello@wigscape.com. I hope this helped. Okay, until next time, see you later.